But then you'd have a whole bunch of wrestlers walk out because they don't believe in the virus.
Yeah. So
AJ's
they
gonna
don't
walk
believe
on
in
the
the
splatter.
virus, but yet people out here calling them soft, right? So how do we analyze that? How does that make sense?
Well, it depends. If the mask prevents you from breathing a little bit, you can't really wear it. That's not healthy, right?
Bro,
I
if
don't
they're
know. Ask Shelton
together.
Benjamin about wearing a
No?
mask.
Now listen.
That shit was funny.
What did he say?
Shit.
They stopped him in the entrance, right?
Oh yeah.
Bro,
yeah,
he
forgot
noticed
to take
it. When he
off.
noticed it, he was like, oh, yeah. Put it right in his pocket.
That's my point, though, Vic. They out there going every day without a mask, wrestling, performing like they didn't lose a step. Like, and they soft. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard for me to really compute that. I think this generation is working smarter. That's all.
I hear that.
It works
I hear
smarter.
that.
It
Works
works
smarter, not
It's
harder.
not even working smarter or harder. It's they have different vices, right? They're just trying to be safer in the long term, right? They've seen the generations go by, right? You've seen the Iron Sheik who has to waddle around and uses a wheelchair, right? You've seen hundreds of guys that OD'd, not even thousands, right? Like who have OD'd on drugs. So you know what? Worst thing that happens is they got to wear readers from fucking playing video games.
How about the indie wrestlers you don't hear about that never made it and then retired with bumps and bruises that fucking they can't walk right. They can't get normal 9 to 5s and shit. That shit.
Sabu.
There's no lie. Poor Sabu. Poor Sandman.
New Jack.
He's a motherfucker.
New Jack.
It's crazy. There's a reason why guys could go so like as long as Taker did, and he's lucky because he came from that era. God knows what the fuck he was in.
See, he was lucky because he kept his money, right? But then you have guys like listen, I love the Rock and Roll Express, but at like 70 plus, they should not be still wrestling in the ring, like it's a normal part of their gig.
Yeah, I mean, I think
they can still go. That's the crazy part.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you this much: if they were to stop, that's when they break down. Yeah, if they were to stop, that's when they're gonna break down like quickly.
Oh yeah, huh?
You know what I'm saying? So like I could understand keeping it going, but they still can go. But yes, there's no reason why they should be doing that. You know what I mean? There's no reason why they should be putting their bodies through that type of torture. But this is a conversation that happens through all diasporas, bro. Through every generation. The generations before you always feel like the future generations are soft. That's always been the case. You can hear that shit in the military. You can hear that shit in sports. You can hear that shit in any organization, in jobs. Like think about it, folks. People had to use payphones back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Rotary phone, like
payphone.
You know what I'm saying? We're working from home now. You know what I'm saying? People didn't even find out about if work was closed until they got there back in the day. Like, there's just a different struggle.
Yeah, for real.
It's a different struggle.
To walk through the snow.
So, of course, it's going to be softer, right?
Snow is soft.
It's different. It's different. There's different accommodations. You know what I mean? The wood is different today.
The wood?
Is that these?
Yeah.
These old heads are not accommodating.
Yeah, that's Bluetooth kicking in.
Yeah, I mean,
show me, JP.
You have a Thunderdome. You have a Thunderdome. When the fuck did they have a Thunderdome back in the 60s and shit?
If she has Thunderdome,
come on.
yo, you keep.
We had one Titantron, and
if her dome is thunder,
keep it.
The only Thunderdome we had was in Mad Max. That was about it.
Hey.
I hear that, man. The sour grapes of change and not everybody's cool with change. Not everybody is comfortable with it, and not everybody agrees. And damn, man, it's Taker going off nowadays every other week. But I'm not gonna pull the trigger on Taker yet because I may say he's tarnished his legacy, right? He's done more damage outside of the ring.
He hasn't tarnished his legacy, but he has destroyed his mystique.
Okay, talk to me.
Well, here's a guy who I think we've said it before, like for 30 plus years has really not gone out of character, hasn't really spoken out of turn, and now we're seeing this other side to him, and it's kind of like the old adage, you don't really want to know what's in the sausage before you eat it.
Whoa! That's what Tom
I
Brady
love that
Wepa.
analogy.
Wepa.
I love that
Wepa.
analogy.
Well, this is what I say to that, old school. I mean, what did you think was gonna happen? We're in a generation now where we know a lot about these wrestlers. We know about their personal lives, and like you said, Taker was one of the last ones, right? But he also got to make money.
He don't.
You know,
He's made so much money. He's made so much
personal-
money. He never has to. His kids, his grandkids probably don't even have to work, right? He has real estate deals, right? Like this is.
He does.
He should.
Shame on him.
Y'all remember Dexter?
Gomez?
Remember having it? Yes.
Terrible ending.
Nah, I stopped watching because I heard that shit was trash. So.
But that was the ending that should have happened for Taker. He should have just went out into the woods, started chopping some wood, and just left it at that.
Spoiler.
Yo, man.
Peter dies.
I hear you, but
Not
you
a
know
single
what?
nice thing.
Yo, Poussey dies though. By the way, Orange is the New Black.
No,
Poussey died.
I hear you, yo, old school. You right, yo. I hear you. That would have been better, absolutely. But at the same time, I haven't hated everything that Taker has said. This is the one thing that has become controversial.
Give him some time. Remember when Brett first started talking? We thought it was real cool. And now every time he come out, it's like, oh god damn it, what did he say now?
But this is what I'm saying. What do you expect when he gets more opportunities to speak? They're gonna run out of shit to talk about. Like, this is what happens. Like, he already had many interviews. The Broken Skull session probably should have been the last thing. That should have been the last thing. Leave it at that. Taking shots with Stone Cold.
Right off.
Boom.
Right
That's
off
money. I got what I needed. Yo, his participation in the Undertaker Kane shit in fucking WWE Network, that was cool. Yo,
cool
Kane's
too,
a mayor now, like Knoxville. Yeah. Yo, keep it at
Shout
that.
outs to the Titans.
But it's the extra shit. It's the extra shit, right? That's where we fall into a problem. Because this extra shit, we don't know when it's happening. Maybe maybe it was right after that Broken Skull session with Stone Cold, where Taker had to drink more than he has in 3 weeks. And he did a little too much and slip out. They're soft. We don't know the context, right? So, yeah, let's keep some mics away from the legends, man.
Weed. And, and it's a combination of, like, disappointing banter, I guess, right? For whatever your political leanings and whatever, right? But it just, everything is just really disappointing. And then you have that aura, right? Like, a lot of his energy, especially at the end, when there was nothing left of this fucking bag of bones, bro. This guy is like dragging his ass out there, all fucking dusty and shit. Fucking out there doing his thing. All right, God bless him, getting that money, getting that paper. All right, but it was always about, like, yo, that 30-minute entrance that he's gonna have, and ooh, it's so mysterious, and now it's like, yo, shut up for a minute. Yo, this guy's complaining about how people are playing video games and not doing drugs. All right, fine, whatever, bro. Like, why? You're just this old guy. And then, like,
he's complaining about action figures at this point.
Yeah, and then, like, later on, he's like, man, I'm really upset about my action figure. Like, one of them, the jacket is kind of like a bathrobe, and then the other one, like, when it's plastic.
Edge had it too, though.
Yo, but
like,
speaking about action figures, did y'all see what Chelsea Green posted a couple of days ago? It was earlier this week, this weekend, of Matt Cardona, right? Zack Ryder.
He has way too many
playing in the
action
pool.
figures.
He's in the pool playing with his wrestling toys. In the pool,
he and PCF have nothing to do with that.
That's all. That's fine. I get it.
And he has a snack like Chelsea Green.
He does. He makes it work.
Like he's like, nah, babe, I gotta go play with my toys right now.
Shout outs to playing
with
your wrestling toys.
Play with yours.
I don't hate him.
And Danny, of course, Undertaker said he wouldn't do another Boneyard match. That shit took like 8 hours to make.
Mischief. What was the second thing that came out? What was the second set of news that recently came out with Taker in that week? I know he said the thing with the guns and the knives, but then something else came out. What was that specifically?
The
toys.
That was it too.
Yeah,
there was something else.
You just you talking out of both sides of your ass. Like, all right,
what is he?
right.
There
was something else. There was something else. There had to be something else.
And video games and drugs and guns and my toy is whack, son. Like, I hate when they do this shit to my toy. Like, what are you talking about, dog? You talking about your
I don't think there was something else. I can't put my finger on it, but
listen,
if I remember it, I don't think he said anything that was too much for people to fucking overreact though, because for them to start being like, okay, let's cancel Undertaker now. I mean, he sounds a little like.
So you know what wasn't too much for me?
Oh yes. So
hold on. Let old school. What were you gonna say?
Oh no. Go ahead. I'll let you.
Well, it's just the thing about the Canyon, the story about the Chris Canyon story.
So let me tell you about Chris Canyon. He got knocked the fuck out by the Undertaker
several times.
So much so that we made it the drop for our chair shots.
There you go.
Yes,
there you go.
Yes, it was. Yes, it fucking was.
So much so that when he left the WWE, he showed up at a live event in Long Island with signs saying how they had suppressed him because he was trying to be progressive with how he portrayed a gay character on TV, and they didn't want to do that.
He probably thought he was at a WWE event the way he got smacked like that.
He probably thought he was still part of the roster.
What the fuck are you doing? Like, you creep ass. What is that?
The chair shot.
He's listening to concussions, shot, unfortunately.
Oh, that sounds like a back shot.
At this per se, I can't really. I don't know. It's not in any of their hands though, is it? Like, that was back in the day, and you know how shit ran back in the day. They did it. You're told to do something, you pull it off. You probably question it, but it seems like Canyon was a go, right?
So here's the thing though. Taker had a lot of pull, and he could have done a lot of different things, but he chose.
Could have, but if the guy's down, I mean, why would you, right?
What?
If everybody's down and for it, I don't see why you will pull out of it, and then it's not even.
That's what she said.
And at the same time, we don't know the context. We don't know if there was heat backstage for Canyon. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know. Canyon was doing. That was the thing. Canyon was speaking.
That was the problem. He had heat because he was,
he was out there
of a different persuasion.
Right? Yeah, and he was also out there talking, doing interviews. Breaking kayfabe. Like, we don't know what was happening in that situation.
What was he breaking?
Kayfabe.
Kayfabe.
You always say it like that, Kayfabe. What the kayfabe?
Wasn't that the guy that married Britney Spears?
Kayfabe.
Why do I know that? Like, why did that fucking trick? God damn it, TRL.
Former Raw guest, by the way. He was on Raw, by the way.
He got F5.
Didn't he beat Cena at one point?
I think he did beat Cena.
Shit,
yes,
he did. Yeah,
he has a victory,
and he's not in the Hall of